When I was serving in the South Korean Army, I was at the border. For security reasons, we get our phones back on the weekends. And whenever we receive our phone, everybody was charging the phone. What I realized was, regardless of who you are, soldier, a business executive, or a busy parent, charging interrupts important moments in our lives. And it's not because of faster chargers or bigger batteries. It's because we have to physically plug in our phones. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if we could just place your phone on a desk or your nightstand and it will charge automatically? And that's what we're doing today.
It's Tony Zhang here. I'm founder of Sbur Decision Lab. We feature entrepreneurs, their stories, and decision-making to help you make smarter decisions and achieve success. Enjoy this episode.
My name is Martin Jeon, and I'm founder and CEO of Paper Table LLC, and we make wireless chargers that are bigger than just a circle. And you can charge multiple devices on the wireless charger, and we're thinking of putting it onto the nightstand.
Wow. So what problem are you solving?
When I was serving in the South Korean Army, I was at the border. For security reasons, we get our phones back on the weekends. And whenever we receive our phone, everybody was charging the phone. And then what I realized was, regardless of who you are, soldier, a business executive, or a busy parent, charging interrupts important moments in our lives. And it's not because of faster chargers or bigger batteries. It's because we have to physically plug in our phones. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if we could just place your phone on a desk or your nightstand and it will charge automatically? And that's what we're doing today.
During the startup journey, do you have to constantly look at your product, the market, and figure out which direction you're traveling to? And can you share with us how you think through this process in terms of product design and go-to-market?
When I started the company, I started because I wanted a better charging solution. And as I was doing my research, I found out that the industry was ignoring a very important piece of the technology in standby power. And I spent about a year and a half researching how can we make it happen, make a large wireless charger that's sustainable. And at one point, I found that I could use this for not just your consumer electronics products, but also for EVs, robotics, and even space, space. Like you can imagine robots driving around and charging on wireless chargers. And I had to iterate the product a lot. And I talked to maybe 300 or more people, diverse, some people on the street, people at networking events. I would knock on doors at furniture stores. I would try to reach out to robotics founders, and I really had to understand their problem, right? So I was coming from a consumer experience problem, realized that my technology could be applied to a bigger industry, and then I had to figure out, okay, what can I do right now as someone who only has a bachelor's degree with maybe $10,000 to $20,000 of saving? And realistically speaking, I can't make a robotics charger or EV charger. So I went back to the consumer, right? So I started with the consumer, thought I could make it in robotics and EVs, and came back to consumer. I'm still thinking about robotics and EVs, just that I have to start somewhere. So how do you design that, right? So at first, I thought you could just put a bunch of wireless chargers together and put it onto a nice looking thing. Then I realized that who's going to buy this thing, right? Who's going to be using this thing? And that's where I really had a lot of challenges. So at first I thought this would be a great place for hotels, right? So hotels have a lot of guests coming in, and sometimes people forget their chargers. So I made my chargers look really nice, and I went to hotels and talked to them. And what I found out was my product was an overkill, right? So hotels today do provide wireless chargers, but most people just charge maybe 1 or 2 devices. And my device can charge 5 and more devices, and hotels is not going to pay $500 to put a nice looking charger into their hotels. And I had to redo my customer development journey, and I'm currently thinking of putting into university libraries, right? Because you got to start somewhere. Yes, you can go into hotels when everybody knows it's a nice thing, and you have more products like maybe a lamp or your tablet or your portable batteries are charged wirelessly, right? But right now we only have our phones, we have smartwatches, and a Kindle. That's pretty much all the devices you can charge using wireless charging standards today. And I thought university libraries will be great because that's where a lot of students come together, maybe 4 or 5 students working together in a large table. And if you're a student, everybody's fighting for that charging port, right? It's laptops, your phones, your headphones, and there's only 2 ports for 5 people there's 10 devices on the table. So we are currently talking to universities to see if any of them are interested, and that's where we stand today.
Wonderful, wonderful. It sounds like you really get very close to the potential customers, truly understand what their needs are and whether your product will be a good fit for that particular market. So it's a discovery and exploratory process is probably reiterative loop you're going through.
Yeah, you got to do it every day. You got to do it every time you look at the pitch. You have to think outside your own imagination. Like you have to talk, you have to pitch your idea to people and get their feedbacks. And you're going to get mixed feedback. Some are going to say it's amazing. Some are going to say it's bad. And I would like to say you should focus on when people disagree with you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Hi, my name is Martin, and I founded Paper Table to eliminate battery anxiety for everyone. Did you know that average person charges your phone twice a day? With Paper Table, charging becomes effortless. I'm missing a problem slide, but it's okay. So when I served in the Army, and because of security reasons, we got our phones back on weekends. And the first thing we did was to charge them. And this interrupted our daily lives in the military. And then it hit me. It's not, whether you're a soldier, whether you're a business entrepreneur, or a busy parent, charging our devices interrupts your daily lives. And I created Paper Table to allow you to charge your devices anywhere on the surface. This wireless charging coils allows you to charge your phone anywhere on the surface. And you can charge other devices like Amazon Kindle, your phone, your smartwatches, and so on, as long as it's compatible with QI wireless charging standards. To date, we received a granted patent from the USPTO on our core technology. And we iterated from version 1 of the prototype to 1.7, validating key technical risks and design challenges that arise. In parallel, I've conducted over 350 one-on-one interviews and iterate and refine the insights through Boston University's Innovation Pathway and Harvard's iCorps. I started Paper Table right out of college, receiving electrical engineering degree from Boston University. Saish is one out of 250 candidates that have applied to our company with a master's degree in electrical engineering. Kongshik is our advisor who has been spending 24 years in IP law and is the founding and managing member of an IP law group. Suman is our business advisor who is serving as the senior advisor at Cambridge Innovation Center and has 12 years of entrepreneurship. And Keith has spent 25 years at Draper as a senior electrical engineer and has a letter of recognition from the CIA. And collectively, our advisors have 60 years of experience. Wireless charging is a $5 billion market, and it's growing at a rapid pace. There are 7 billion cell phone users in the world, and 88 of them charges in the bedroom. And also 76% of users own more than 4 devices. Paper Table is asking for $500,000 for 10% of the equity. And we're doing 3 things with the investment. First, we will hire 2 key talents in mechanical and industrial engineers. And second, we will bring our alpha prototype into a pilot-ready unit. And third, we will validate our customers through Kickstarter and then lead to B2B pilot partners. And we expect our returns through subsequent investment rounds leading to an IPO. And we're targeting our Series A in 18 to 24 months. Here's a QR code to my LinkedIn. If you have any questions or feedback, please reach out. Thank you.
Now you have heard the story and the investor pitch. Where are you on your startup journey? What decisions are you wrestling with? Comment below or take a quick survey and we'll let you know right away how investor ready you are.